Today we're here to talk about GLP-1 maintenance. And this is something that people usually get wrong. This is something that's usually overseen. I can speak from experience. When I started my GLP-1 treatment, I took Mounjaro. There was a lot of shortages of the doses that I needed, so I had to quit cold turkey. And guess what? I gained some of the weight back. And this was with me trying to stay on that same weight. It was with me doing my best to keep my weight loss, but it is not so simple. So I started my new journey with Zepbound a while ago. And today I have a plan for maintenance because I think that that's the most important thing. Losing weight is difficult, but keeping it off is the real magic here. What the studies show is that maintenance is not post-treatment. Maintenance is part of the treatment, and you cannot oversee it. Because most likely, if you quit this medication without a maintenance plan, you are going to gain your weight back and sometimes even more than what you had before. What happens is your body, once you lose, especially a ton of weight, and especially if it's fast, your body wants to go back to your happy weight, the weight that your body is used to, the weight that it's been on for so long. So what it does is you quit the medication and it starts to give you more hunger than ever before. So it starts to pump hormones that will make you super hungry, hungrier than even before you started the medication. Some people talk about taking this medication forever, but it could look like something different. I, for example, do not plan on taking a GLP-1 forever. I don't enjoy taking medication for life unless it is necessary. I did a lot of research, and with my doctor, I built a plan. And now I'm going to share with you guys the options that you have so that you can make the same decision. I'm going to share what I've seen, what my research shows me, and what my experience tells me. Before we get into our maintenance options, make sure to like and subscribe so you keep getting more content like this. I always talk about GLP-1s. I have a lot of experience with it. I'm on my second treatment, so I know where I made a mistake. I know where things worked. And I also share new research, news on GLP-1s. So there are tons of resources if you watch my videos. Tons of stuff about how to get rid of side effects, new options on the market, what's the difference between one drug versus another. Everything in plain English, easy to understand. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So when we're talking about maintenance, that should be different for everyone. There isn't a rule. It's just like when you go to a nutritionist or a dietitian, they're not going to give you the same diet that someone else got. Like, oh, my sister's doing this diet, I'm just going to copy it. That doesn't work because you have your own needs, you have your own body, your own routine, your life is different, your genetics are different. So these things need to be individualized, but they're not random. That doesn't mean that you're just going to, free roll this and just, oh, I'm going to take a shot today and then I'm going to skip, 4 days because I'm on maintenance and then I'm going to take another one. I think that maintenance is the most important part of the treatment. I cannot stress this enough. If you are watching this video, this should be the one thing that you should not forget. And some people think that maintenance is just getting off the medication as fast as possible. Oh my God, I can't wait to stop giving money to Lilly or Novartis. That's not always the best. So now, what is maintenance? How should I be doing my maintenance? Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to give you a recipe on how to do your maintenance. I'm just going to tell you what it could look like. Maintenance for you could be staying on the same dose. So right now I am in 12.5 and I've been keeping that dose for a long time. It's been 2 months. I came to Brazil with 3 months of medication. And when I go back to the US, I might drop. But your maintenance might be that you stay on that dose for a year. Because if you lost all the weight you had to lose, and now you just want to keep it, and with that dose, you are keeping it, then maybe you can't go down. Some people want to stay on this medication forever, and that could be the best case for you. That could be the best solution. But what most people do is they start slowly decreasing the dose. I'm going to tell you what I plan on doing, which is the most common way of doing maintenance for a GLP-1. And that is, I am staying on 12.5 for 3 months. That was my decision because I was coming to Brazil. It just made sense to bring the same dose for the whole time I'm here. Then when I go back, I am going to go down to 10. When I go down to 10, at the end of that month, I am going to compare my body weight, how I feel. I'm going to keep a diary of symptoms, of things that I notice that are different. And I'm going to do labs before and after so that I can see how my body is reacting to this decrease of GLP-1. Obviously, I'm going to maintain my healthy habits. And after I spend 1 month on 10 milligrams, I'm going to reassess with my doctor and see if we can get even lower. Then if we go to 7.5, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to weigh myself. I don't weigh myself every day. I think that's a little obsessive. Some people like to do that, but that doesn't work for me. It makes me too weight focused, and that's not how I like to approach this. So I'm going to make sure to weigh myself once a week. And another thing that's really cool is that you can do one of those body scans, and those body scans will show you in terms of muscle and fat what's going on in your body. Because weighing yourself on a regular scale sometimes is kind of silly because you don't know what's going on. Like you could be gaining muscle and losing fat, and then it looks like you're gaining weight. So this is something that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing an in-body test to make sure that my body composition is staying the way that I want it or improving. Maybe I'm gaining some more muscle. With that tactic, what's going to happen is you're going to keep dropping and dropping and dropping until you get to the lowest dose. And then I'm going to add days in between shots. So instead of waiting 7 days to take the next shot, I'm going to wait 8 and then 9 and then 10 until I get to full 2 weeks in between shots. That's 15 days. After that, there's still the possibility of, instead of taking the shot, going to the pill, to Fundeo. This is the new thing that's on the market. Maybe by that time, when I am taking shots 15 days apart, I still need that appetite suppression for a little longer. Then I can take the pill. But all this is stuff that I'm discussing with my doctor. I obviously did my research because I don't like to just rely on what the doctor wants to say, because I have my own idea of what I want for myself. But obviously the doctor is going to understand what I want and see what is safe to do. Sometimes people think that what's important in maintenance is just that you keep that weight away. And that's not everything. You got to check your blood sugar. How are you sleeping? What does your waist look like? Are you gaining weight on your stomach, on your waist? How is your energy level? These medications affect a lot more than just your weight. And the most important thing on maintenance is to develop those healthy habits. So when you're on GLP-1, it's so much easier to eat healthy, to remember to do healthy things, go to the gym, because you are, one, spending money, most likely, if you don't get this for free. If you're not one of the lucky ones that get a GLP-1 for free from your insurance, you're spending money. So you got to make this work. And you're being reminded. So for me, once a week, I inject myself. That's like a trigger. I am going to try to stick with my diet. And with the GLP-1, that is easier. That's why you take this drug. Once you stop, once you're going through maintenance, this is going to get harder. So you need to start these routines, these things, taking care of your food, making sure that your plate looks right. You're eating enough protein, you're eating a salad, you're eating greens and good carbs. This is important to do while you're in treatment. Continue while you're in maintenance. Continue afterwards. On your maintenance, as well as on this whole treatment and on your life, you should be focusing on preserving your lean mass or increasing it. You should have a solid nutrition. And it's always good to have a nutritionist or a dietitian when you're on a GLP-1 treatment. It's not always possible because for some of us, we have the financial aspect of this. You have to pay for the nutritionist, and then you have to pay for, maybe you got the drug from a different kind of doctor. So it's not always doable for all of us. but there's a lot of information out there on what you should be eating. And something that is really important, that seems to be very important for keeping your lean mass and growing lean mass, is eating enough protein. A couple of things you can do while you're on treatment and on maintenance and afterwards is making it easier for you to hit your protein goal. So for me, it's really difficult to hit my protein goal without supplements because I cannot eat a big steak at night because then that makes me sick. So I end up eating most of my protein at lunch. And at night, I eat something a little smaller because the digestion is slow and I want to be able to sleep well. If you're on a GLP-1, you know what I'm talking about. So for me to hit my protein goal, I make sure to add some supplements throughout the day. What I like to take is in the morning, I take Super Coffee. Super Coffee has protein and it also helps me go to the bathroom. That's a 2-in-1 product for me, at least. And I need more protein than that. So I also take Vital Collagen Peptides. And why do I not take another Super Coffee? Because whey protein or things with milk, they don't really agree with me if I take too much of them. So I can take one in the morning and I'm fine. But if I take too much during the day, I start feeling bloated. A friend of mine, actually, she's a nutritionist, and she told me about Vital Collagen Peptides. This product is more like a juice. So the one I take is a lemon flavor. So it's kind of like a lemonade, and they're not super heavy. They don't make me bloated. I'm not like burpy or gassy. So for me, that's what works the best. I'm going to add the link to everything in the description. If you're going to buy these products, if you want to try the products that I use, make sure to click on the link because that's not going to cost anything to you and that's going to help me keep this channel alive. I'm never going to tell you to buy products that I don't personally use. I've been using these products for a while. These are good quality products. You can look at the reviews, but if you're going to buy it, please help a girl out. Click the link below. These low friction habits are what's going to make your maintenance work. In an ideal world, you wouldn't need any of that. But I like to be realistic. When you have these healthy habits, it's not just better for you and easier for you to get to your results, but it also helps with your side effects. Now, if you have trouble with GLP-1 side effects, in this playlist that I'm putting somewhere up here, there are tons of videos on side effects. Nausea, constipation, diarrhea. I've had all of them. So everything I know is up there. And if you stayed until the end, first of all, thank you. Thanks for supporting the channel, for watching the whole video. And I would love to know more about you. Are you on a GLP-1 and do you plan on doing maintenance? Do you have a maintenance plan? I always like to learn from people that are doing the treatment. I am also on this boat, so I'm also learning with you, and I would love to know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you when I learn some new stuff.